My last question for you, Kelly. What is one tip? If you could give any piece of advice to your younger self, what would you say? Like just, before Sports Illustrated, maybe if you were like going through a hard time or when you were younger, like what is the best thing that you could say?
I think for sure, there's like 100 things I could probably say because
Yeah.
I've learned so many lessons. But I think it's not just with Sports Illustrated. I think it's just that this really showed me, like, personally, like how when you're in a situation, don't look at the temporary because the bigger
Mm,
picture is so much bigger. And 3 years ago, when I was in a hospital room and I didn't understand why I was there because I had this infection after I had my C-section and I was going through all this and it just got worse and worse in that moment. I was like, I just was like praying because I have God in my life. And I was like, why am I going through this? Why am I struggling in this moment? And I did this a lot in my life. I think that, like, especially as a teenager, we feel like the smallest things are the world crashing down on us. And like it's
totally.
really hard to process, especially like that first breakup or that first heartache or that first rejection or that first, difficult hurdle that we go through, because we all go through them. But the reality is that they're temporary. Like, do you look back
Mm,
on something from 10 years ago and really dwell in it now? Most likely you don't. So
right.
it's interesting how, in that moment, especially, I was just probably in the most difficult situation I've ever been in. Like, I had a week-old baby at home and I was in a hospital, and I just was like, I didn't understand it. Like, I was a healthy person. I came in to deliver my son. Well, how did this happen? And now, 3 years later, or 3.5 years later, that I see why it happened and what a platform
Mm,
it gave, and the reaction and the response, and how God has really used my story to just, address and to relate to so many people, and how it's inspired and empowered, and just the way it was used. If that never happened, this wouldn't have happened. So I think that it's a perfect example of like how don't look at your temporary, and really there's a bigger picture, and that today might be really difficult, but tomorrow's going to come. And I think
mm,
with mental health right now being such a issue, and everything that's going on in the world, I think that it's really important to remind yourselves that, not to be so hard on yourself, because everybody goes through struggles, everybody goes through difficulties. But I think that if you rise above it in the situation, that the outcome is going to be something great, and it's only temporary. And I think that that was the hardest lesson to learn, because I would go through it and go through it and go through it, and I would respond the same way. And in this one, because I guess the mother in me just rose up in the occasion, and mothers are strong beings, like they're
yeah.
like fighters. I just, took it on my back and was like, all right, let's go with this. Like, this is the hand I was dealt, and let's do this. And I think like
Wow.
that reaction, it's been a journey, it's been 3.5 years, but look how much is to come from it. So I think
Mm.
that's like the best advice I can give, even though like I said, I could probably say 100 things, but I think the most important thing is that, for sure.
Wow, that is, oh my gosh, that makes my heart so warm because I really like, I live by the quote, everything is happening for me, not to me. And that you just like, you said it, in those moments when you're in the hospital and you're like, why is this happening to me? Why now? Why me? I don't deserve it, or I can't go through this. I can't handle it. You know, Time goes by and you look back and you're like, that's why it happened. Like, it's so full circle.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. So that's why
Wow.
I always say, like, you don't understand it today, but it might make sense later. And it might take a while, it might
Yeah.
really long while. Like, in my opinion, 3.5 years is a while.
Yes.
I'd rather
Yeah.
had that happen than not, because not only do I have an amazing son and I'm so thankful for him, and life would never be the same without him. I mean, I'm just so grateful for him, but also what came from it, and how it's, reached so many.
Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful, and that inspired me, and I hope it inspires everyone listening and watching. No matter where you are in life right now, today, in this moment, it does not determine your destiny, your future, and it really could be happening for you. Even the breakup or the rejection and the moving to a new city or this friend stuff. It's like, think of it, yeah, as not like, oh, I'm losing this, but as what is this teaching me? Maybe it's getting me to where I want to be. I don't know.
100%.
Yeah, oh my gosh, that is amazing. And Kelly, I am so grateful once again to have had the absolute honor of speaking with you today over Zoom. I cannot wait until everyone can see this conversation. But thank you so much, Kelly. I'm a fan of yours, Sports Illustrated. This is so full circle. So I'm like over the moon right now.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad we were able to chat and, continue this journey together, because it's really just about empowering each other and encouraging
Yes.
each other. So
Yes, it is. And everyone watching.